Hello, this is Ballistic Intent here, and today I am showing you a recent multiplayer match that I played on Wargame European Escalation. It was very much really intense throughout the whole battle, and you'll see that flanking tactics and putting units at spawn points and stuff to take out spawning units. That one side used it really well and one side didn't really focus on that. So for example, if somebody takes gold here and calls in a reinforcement to go here, they'll come from here and start to move up there. If they have units in this forest or just a unit over here or something, then that really annoys people and distracts them from the main areas of combat, which would be, say, Foxtrot and Juliet or Delta, Hotel, flank sort of thing. What you'll see throughout the match is that both sides use very different tactics, and one of the teams only won because of the way the match was set up. If it was set up in a different way, it wouldn't have been won by one team. It would have been won by the other. Anyway, you'll see as it goes on what happens. I am on, this is me here, Ballistic 95. I am on the Pact side, and this is the NATO side over here. Now, I don't care how you pronounce NATO, because it's an abbreviation, not an actual word, so don't grill me about that, please. Anyway, on my team I've got Eris, Nezu, and Mage Mayhem, and they all played pretty well. I gotta give them credit for that. And on NATO, we've got Raidum. I'll just read them from here. We got Raidum, the Monkey King, Grisha, I think, or Grisha maybe, and Tomcat 75. And I think I've played against I think I've played against all of them before. But anyway, we'll just speed up the deployment here until we're almost ready. Now you'll see straight away that we haven't really spawned in much, and we're starting to bunch up here with all our stuff. And what they're doing is, you'll see they've already spawned in basically the guts of their force. We've got APCs, we've got Bradley CFEs, Marta Rollins, some air support, with some with infantry in them. So yeah, they're already starting to set up their army. Meanwhile, all we've spawned in is maybe BM30s, and I've sold my unarmored command vehicle for a BRDM. We will just play again. We'll see here that they're still really spawning in a lot, and we're just starting now. I don't know. Being slow on deployment can sometimes be a downfall for the start of the match. It can really let you down sometime. Anyway, we start to spawn all our stuff basically, and you'll see my force. I like to balance it very much. I don't like too much of one thing. So what I've got is I've got two very good recon units here, and I've also got a heavy tank in the T80U, as well as 3 Motschutzens in BMP1s, and two Motorstrelki with the C, or Motorstrel C, the Czech Motorstrelki in the Topazes. These are really good, cheap anti-tank units that you can set up in forests, because they've got an 8 and 11 AP. And the Topaz 2A has a nice recoilless rifle. Recently I haven't been getting it as much, however, because it went up by 5 points, but it's still a pretty good thing, because you can also have HE power and AP power on it, as well as a PKT machine gun. These Tunguskas, best all-round anti-air in the game, in my opinion. I think I spawn a few more things in. T80U, you know, you want to be as fearsome as possible, and the T80U will give you a psychological edge over your opponent. Unless, of course, your opponent doesn't think about the quality of a unit, but thinks about the tactics of using a unit. Now we'll see that my teammates are also pretty much the same. These are my two artillery pieces. They're my only artillery pieces throughout the whole game. Meanwhile, my teammates, there's 4 Malkers there. We've got some more Malkers, Smirchers, more Malkers. Malkers are pretty good. I think they've gotten better during the last few patches. So here we've got cheap anti-aircraft, Topaz 2As, probably with motor Strelky at the same time. Sturm's very good. Best ground ATGM unit of the game. Very weak, however. Anyway, we're just moving on. Oh, and there's the start of it basically. So I also got a book and some conkers, just for cheap ATGMs that aim really quickly. And the book M1, you know, that's the most fearsome anti-air unit in the game. Now you'll see that they heavily rely on rapid mobilization of their forces. You can see now that we're not the team that wants to go behind their base. They are, because they've got all these Hueys with people in them, and also these Black Hawks here, as well as some supporting Gazelle cannons and AH-1S Cobras. What I've done is I bought one of them, and I was going to use this, but I just thought to myself, no, they've started to do something that makes me not able to do that. Although I should have used them just because. But well, that's just what I chose to do. Anyway, you'll see here that they're much different. Heaps of APCs and heaps of people in them. 4 M1 Abrams, so yeah, it's pretty interesting. Anyway, we'll just speed up that, speed it back down. There we go, we're at normal pace now, I think. Yeah. Now, we're already firing our artillery, and there's just this huge clusterfuck right here. I'll go to my perspective. And at first, we do pretty well here. As you can see, we're getting 100, 200, 300 points. Doing pretty well there. Meanwhile, they've only got 5 points, and you'll see over here that we have spotted some of their units. And what I was hoping my teammates would do is that this guy over here, Major Mayhem, because he's going up to Charlie, what I thought he would do is, or Nezu even, what I thought they would do is they'd have people over here, like even scouts. Although he has this guy here, he isn't seeing much at all. So what I then have to do is I have to basically use this Mi-24 in conjunction with some cheap Shilkers and later some cheap tanks to be able to counter this. Now right now we'll just see the difference in scouting, in recon. Now we can see quite a lot of their units here pretty well. We switch to Tomcat's view, should change. Yeah, they don't see many, they just see these here and maybe one guy there, but you know, that's a given, units at spawn. But as you can see here, they just have so much infantry that they are going to overwhelm these tanks and these Motschutzens, unfortunately, for us. So we'll just change back to my view. And, I mean, this looks like a pretty good defense to me. This book, I think it's way too close. I mean, it's a book M1. It does not need to be 2,000 meters from the enemy. What it needs to be is maybe, you know, 3,000, 4,000 meters. Like somewhere back here, supporting Charlie rather than pushing. These ZSUs, they're quite inaccurate, but they do the job well. They have 2,275 meters of range, which is one of the best in the game. However, their accuracy of 2 is pretty damn bad. I don't know what I meant to say here. Anyway, we can see they're all basically here and over here. They're dropping the special forces here. And what I'm doing is I'm moving this Mi-2 recon to see what's over here. Basically, I see most of their stuff. Where I'll have to move him again, just so he doesn't get the hedge in his way. And you'll see here, this is how Nezu and Major Mayhem, this is how those two both just get absolutely pushed back here. Like you can see, there's 5 Leopard 2A4s, or 4. So Martyr Roland 2, 5 TPZ Fuchs, probably all with Jaegers, and many more to come, as well as artillery support. You can see here we've got a very good tank in the T62M1, however, it is too close to the enemy to be that efficient. We've got some outdated T72s, some monkey model T72Gs, which are not good whatsoever at all, really. They're really inaccurate, and they have 5 front armor, which isn't bad for 35 points. However, I think spending 5 more points for 1 more front armor on, and is probably the better deal, in my opinion. Because you buy the normal T72 versus the T72G. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, we'll see here that I've spread out as much as I would like. I start to move over here just in case they go to hotel. One of them goes here and one of them goes here, just in case their CV goes in hotel forest, and if they do actually succeed. Anyway, over here you'll see that I have, I'll just rewind that there. Oh, you can't rewind. Okay, well what happened here is, using my MI2 recon and MI24P, I've taken out 2 Delta squads as well as their helicopters. That was a really good counterattack by me, and I'm really happy with how I played right here. However, there's probably still people in here. We'll just pause, go to Grisha or something. No, there isn't. So that was all just baloney, basically. Anyway, we see these helicopters here, and we want them pretty much dead because they are scouting this area out, basically. They're not recon units, but they are scouting out a loot. Now, what I should have done here is put some bring up some ground recon instead of air recon, because they're not very useful in valleys, helicopters, unfortunately. And when they're not moving, they're really low to the ground. So whatever advantage they have is then, because air recon is much more effective because you can see over trees and stuff. However, being on the ground, idle like this, gives it basically a ground recon's sight. Now I think we'll see that, yep, I started to bring up some basic defense units over here, but we'll see that they already did that. And I was like, oh, okay, I knew this would happen sometime. I was just too late. These are the Hueys that dropped them off, I think. They must have went all the way around. But you'll see soon that they don't do too much damage. I mean, they kill these guys and a few more units. These motor squads never last. They'll never last against Delta squads. So what you have to do is you have to bring up units that have a good HE power. Like cheap units like this T55, you can use them for... I don't know why I bought the AM1. I prefer the AM, just the normal AM, but either way, it was just a mistake and it didn't really matter. The T55 AM is really good at taking out the armoured personnel carriers for such a cheap cost, because it has a 7 accuracy, and its 4 AP power is more than enough for most APCs, as well as 3 HE power for the infantry, which is very, very effective. Turn off this info units thing, and we will see that we're starting to get pushed out of Foxtrot, and I'm pretty sure this gets taken out because it's an unarmoured command vehicle. It is really thin-skinned, and it doesn't take much to take it down. Now, my artillery here was pounding them and annoying them throughout the whole match. I was killing a few things here and there, so pretty well. I just need to see Like, we can see these units pretty well. I just want to see how the enemy units see us. Now, they don't see us much at all. They see this one Tunguska here, and this other Tunguska, both of Eris's, as well as these guys here. However, we had superior recon throughout the match, and I'm really happy about that. You can see all of that, and even in their base, in our base, we can see them coming in. Now, in response, I don't think that he's brought in 2 BMP2s. He brought in maybe 1 BMP2 and 2 APCs with motor Strelky in them. They both got killed, I think. Well, it may have been something different, some other cheap unit, but it wasn't expensive whatsoever. Anyway, I move up this MI-24P to deal with the Delta squads in here, and he brings up Grisha here. I think Grisha, yep, he does something very smart and brings up 2 OH-58 CSs. Unfortunately for him, he goes at max range, and I'm able to just scurry out of there quickly and bring back some air defense of my own. Now you see they're missing here. I don't know if they actually kill the MI2 or anything. Taking quite a long time to load. And I think they're less accurate on the run as well. Although 40%, that's not bad. He is really unlucky to have had that happen to him, and now he has to retreat because of these Tunguskas I have. Although they are shooting at these OH-58 CSs. And they took them down pretty quick, and I'm happy with that. Although I don't think I took out these guys, unfortunately. Eris here brings in another 2 squads, which is another 2 BTRs with motor Strelky in them, which isn't very smart. Because, you know, I'm just saying to him, like, just give me a second. My MI-24s will do the job. This one survives, however. So what I'm doing is I'm telling this MI-24P, because I can't see them, but because I know where they are, I'm telling him to just roughly aim around here where the 2 squads are. And that basically does the job, because the MI-24P has S13 rockets, and they are 122mm, so very, very effective rockets. Probably one of the best rockets in the game. I don't know if they're exactly dead yet, but they will be very soon. Yeah, see, I'm aiming there, so they're probably not dead yet. Some Delta Force moving up on us here, not a very good idea. I'm bringing a cheap T-55 just for ground defense. Now you'll see here, boom, there goes one of them, and there goes the other 2. That was an amazing feeling. That right there is more than 100 points. Now right now, I'm not the best on my team, but I'm doing really well defending our own base. Sorry, defending our own base. Some Delta squadrons here, all dead. Delta squads here, dead. Some helicopters and more Delta Force over here. I was really proud in how I had reactionary defense. And there's another one. Just a 15-point unit, 20 point unit taken out of Delta Force there. It's already paid for itself if it gets taken out. So no worries there. You'll see here they're pushing through Foxtrot very well. There goes another BMP2. Sometimes my teammates would lack common sense, but mostly they were good. And it ends up being a very good match. Now you'll see right here, you immediately notice that they have Bravo, they have Echo, they have Juliet, and they have Delta. Now all we're bringing in is 5, 9 points. They're bringing in 6, 11, 13 points per second, or a few seconds, or however it's done. But anyway, they're bringing in 13, we're bringing in 9. Eventually, we lose Charlie altogether, and then I tell my team, holy shit guys, we got to be really defensive here because they can just spam us. And despite them being on almost 2,000 points behind, what's happening is that they can absolutely spam the shit out of us with as many units as they can, as they possibly can, and they can take out our command vehicles. And that is exactly what they try and do. Whether they succeed, I don't know. You'll have to wait. I like keeping people on their toes. Eris here was also doing a very good job keeping the enemy suppressed. If it wasn't for him, they would have pushed through here much more, in my opinion at least. I'm really sporadic with these Akat Seers at the moment because I don't know whether they're effective or not. I'm just every time I've got free every time I've got free time to do something, I just start RTing where I think they are and where I think is the most effective for us. Now I think this area is getting pounded. Ooh, Fernspar, very good. I'll just pause that. Fernspar are very good units. I think I've got to go to their perspective or something. Very good units. 14 and 3. 14 accuracy and 3 HE power. And also very good optics. So they're not only a very good ground recon unit, but they can't be taken out by infantry because you'll lose too many guys. Unless you've got like flamethrower infantry or Spetsnaz or something. So what we're doing here is bam. Oh, well, they're almost taken out. Basically, they're trying to set up recon, but they're not being able to. Because they're just stretching their forces so far that they don't have the capacity of recon. Because they're thinking about their own forces. Now you see over here that we're starting to get pushed out of Charlie, and we no longer have a command vehicle in that sector. So I'll just add them up again. We have 5 income, and they have 5 alone in Juliet. 7, 10, 13. 13 to 5. That's almost triple. And that's pretty damn... Well, I can't stress that enough. Now you'll see this match is timed, but whether it's total destruction or not, I will leave up to your imagination, or for you to be like, oh shit, I wonder what it is, you know? Because if it was total destruction, we would be absolutely screwed right now. They could just spam and spam and spam and spam and not even worry. Not even worry whatsoever. Throughout most of the match I forgot about this MI8T. I could have just, you know, sneakily gone, because I know that around here they have Delta forces and stuff, and I'm not going to push over there.